What up my MMA homies? Is it just me? Or has the Conor and Khabib build-up also left you thirsty? All that emotion and drama can literally be summed up in one bottle.
This is number one bullshit.
It's whiskey.
I don't drink.
Why don't you drink?
I don't drink.
Why don't you drink?
I never drink.
That's right. Order this limited edition t-shirt now, and wear it on pay-per-view day, as a silent protest to your friends, who are taking this bad blood too seriously. Don't forget folks, win or lose, both fighters come out of this millionaires and legends. So make me a millionaire instead. Okay, thousandaire. Hundredaire. Fine. At least watch this video.
And you are micro-learning in the moment as they're fighting?
100%. I will analyze reactions in there. If I feel if I feint and he reacts some way, I will feint and I will give him that reaction to set him up for something else. I will create traps and dead space inside that octagon all over the place, and I will walk him into it like a zombie.
He's such a smart fighter as well. People don't see that. People just think, oh, he goes in and just lands the left hand. But it's everything before that left hand lands. He's leading people into that position, and he's very good at doing it.
Anyways, to get to the point. My main question is, how does Khabib intend to get Conor to back up? Whether it be in the center of the cage, or when Conor begins to systematically back Khabib to the fence. Listen to Khabib's coach, Javier Mendez, talk about why taking down Conor isn't so straightforward, as good a wrestler as Khabib is.
He has to stand up with him. You can't just go out and take Conor down. We know it's going to be some stand-up. It has to be. There's no way around it. He's a master of setting the traps up. He's a master of feinting.
Don't take it from me folks. Even Khabib realizes he has to contend with significant stand-up issues initially, and cannot casually step into the pocket.
Of course, I am not underestimating him. He's very good on his box, on his feet, good timing, very good timing. And I have plan. Don't rush, stay relaxed.
Look, I get it. Conor is in trouble once it hits the ground. But Khabib fans, at least be reasonable, and acknowledge that the fight starts standing, and what choices are made here first, as brief as it may be, makes or breaks the outcome. So, back on topic. Here's Conor's overall meta. In the open, he can use in and out movement to trigger some kind of reaction. If you keep doing nothing when he hops into the pocket, he will pick you apart with non-committal strikes. Hopefully, you eventually charge forward, and he can snipe you with his left hand. In the alternative, you back up against his forward pressure, and Conor will start to pick you apart from range, with your back to the cage. Again, Conor is hoping to pressure you into charging out, so that he can catch you with his left hand. So what are Khabib's options? And here, I mean reasonable ones. That won't be a stretch from his existing skill set. I've covered some options in previous videos, so let's run through them again. Leg kicks could be a good way to upset Conor's timing and balance. Indeed, Eddie Alvarez tried kicking Conor's lead leg early in round 1. Being able to transfer his weight between his back and front foot is the secret to Conor's power and mobility. If you can disrupt his ability to plant his feet, Conor's countering game can be thrown off. Problem is, Conor is pretty good at checking kicks himself. Good enough that Eddie abandoned this tactic early after hurting his foot from a check. Conor spent an entire camp getting ready for a low kick war. In his rematch with Nate Diaz, and Nate's own counter low kicks were mostly met with the blade of Conor's shin. Khabib on the other hand, is very new to the kicking game, and for him to run a kick-heavy game plan on Conor seems unlikely. What about just bull-rushing Conor like a madman? Now, I'm not saying this won't work, but it seems low percentage and is often a last resort for Khabib. Conor is very likely to be expecting this, and will be ready to get on his back foot. Okay, what about just shooting low for a single? Khabib showed in his last fight against Raging Al that once he has a good grip on your lower leg, he typically can finish the takedown. The only issue I have with this tactic though, is Khabib's predictable jab feint setup. Every time Eddie feinted, Conor didn't reach for the jab, but got on his back foot, ready for the charge in. So before you even shoot, you have two issues to worry about, his right hand being used as a preemptive frame, and his loaded left hand, ready to counter. Without a successful jab feint, Khabib is going to have to resort to telegraphed shots from a distance. Success is not as high, and Khabib risks getting countered as he recovers from his shot. Things seem pretty grim for Khabib on the feet. But what if you saw through the smoke and mirrors of Conor's meta? Conor is all about creating quick draw contests on the center line. When Conor retreats back to his back foot, he either wants you to charge forward, so that you walk into a shot, Or, he wants you to shrink back, so that he can hop back in, to keep up the forward pressure or throw a strike. Let's hear it in his own words.
I simply enter the way I enter, and that is enough. They either overextend or they shrink away, but either way is not good for them.
Conor has presented you with a false choice though. And as a famous philosopher once said,
I don't think so. Oh, we don't play that.
That's right. No one said Khabib has to play this game with only two choices. What if Khabib sees through this setup, and instead takes an angle, every time Conor drops back? Now you are off Conor's center line, but Conor is still on Khabib's. Conor can't wait here, there's no centerline quick draw contest to be played, and Khabib is on line for a shot. If Khabib can see through Conor's footwork timing, and respond with his own counter footwork, he can really mess with Conor's counter game. Conor has to flee, or try to strike while turning, which has less power and speed behind it. If Conor cannot frame the contest, on his terms as a counter striker, eventually he might be tempted to start stepping in aggressively, giving Khabib takedown opportunities on much better terms. This version of Khabib, showing up with good circling footwork, seems like a fantasy. But in the Raging Al fight, he already showed that he has the technical skills to circle when he needs to. Couple that with an understanding of what Conor is doing with his footwork and timing, and the contest on the feet no longer seems so one-sided. Footwork beats footwork. And key to countering footwork is pattern recognition, and awareness of the traps that your opponent is setting for you. Footwork sometimes is invoked as magic, and maybe it is, but I have a theory about footwork magic, which to paraphrase.
And there is this theory on magic that I believe very much, which is once one thing is seen to be phony, the whole thing crumbles, and it crumbles completely.
It sounds outlandish to suggest merely recognizing Conor's footwork patterns will help Khabib. But this is MMA, folks, and strange things can happen. After all, remember this fight, and what seemed like unbeatable footwork.
He had a choice. He could either stay on the outside and try to wait for me and let me pick up my rhythm and my feints and my timing, or he could try to rush me and catch me off guard and get me moving back. Well, depending on what you do, I make adjustments during the fight.
No film study suggested that Cody's plan was to beat Cruz at his own game, footwork. Coming in, Cody seemed like a plodding brawler. Yet, during the fight, he seemed to be aware of almost every single footwork trap Cruz was setting for him. Listening to Khabib talk about his fight strategy, he intends to keep pushing forward against Conor.
My plan, everybody knows, I'm gonna keep go forward, but don't rush. And I have plan, don't rush, stay relaxed, go forward and make him tired. After I can do whatever I want.
Matter of fact, he even goes so far as to suggest he will not be going all Muhammad Ali with his jab, like he did versus Raging Al.
If you think I'm gonna stay with him like I stay with Yaquinta with my Muhammad Ali jab, no way, brother. No way, I'm gonna try to take him down.
Is this all a distraction and a con? Is Khabib really planning to just keep coming straight at Conor? Or is his Muhammad Ali-like jab, the butt of many jokes by haters, really the ace up Khabib's sleeve? Does Khabib plan to constantly circle when Conor tries to get comfortable on his back foot? Depending on Conor's emotional state coming in, he might be thrown off when his traps get denied, and start coming in recklessly. Anyways, we don't have to wait much longer to find out. For those of you that don't know, I have many other Conor and Khabib videos, playlists are below in the description. Do subscribe, and let me know if you want a post-fight study, or is it time to put down the bottle, and move on. Take care all.
So yeah, we know his game plan is to go in and throw a shot and shoot to take down. That's what we're preparing for.
Well, the thing about Khabib is like I always say, he's still evolving. So every time you see him, it's going to be a new Khabib. So don't expect the same Khabib as the last time. Expect new techniques, new things.